Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Darkin Graves, and this is the Gospel According to Graves. I'm going to call it the Gospel According to Graves today. Before we get started, on a serious note, I'll make this short and sweet. I talked to Chuck Myers today, and I'll offer my apology, which he accepted. Leave it at that. Now I'd like to extend my apologies to you, the viewers. I've been podcasting for around 7 years now, and nothing like that's ever really happened before. And I still can't really explain what happened, but no matter what happened, it was my show, and I acted in an unprofessional manner. And I just want to let you guys know that it happen again. I hope you can find your heart to forgive me and talk about what we talk about best, and that's being unholy promo wrestling. So now let's get the show on the road. I got a special guest today, and I'm pretty excited about this one because I've been trying to get him on for a little while now, and he's not just a guest; he's kind of my boss. So I'm not saying I'm having to walk on eggshells or anything like that, but yeah, the man keeps me on my toes. But I make him a lot of money. So I want to bring on right now one of the owners and CEOs of ACW Allegiance Championship Wrestling, and a man who's a real decent guy. A lot of GMs and owners, and a lot of them are scumbags. Real talk. This guy is what you see is what you get, and this man's name is Tony Parker. Let's bring him on. Tony, can you hear me? Tony, there? Hello? Tony?
Darkin, thank you for having me. We were having technical difficulties there for a second. Much better now. I heard what you had to say. First, I want to thank you. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be a guest.
I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you at first.
Okay, well, what did you hear me say anything at all?
No, but I hear you perfect now.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say I appreciate you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. You're a very talented individual. I've enjoyed watching your podcast. I've enjoyed watching your promos. So I heard what you had to say. I know you've been trying to get me on for a while, and I've been wanting to get on for a while. It's just busy running a show with a roster of more than 100 people. We have 3 weekly shows, and a couple reality television shows. But before we get down to business, I do want to say I heard what you had to say at the beginning, and that you use the word real talk, or as one of our wrestlers in ACW says, Jackson Law always says, keep it 100. I'm going to keep it 100. What you did was what a real man does. You didn't make excuses when you apologize for mistakes that you've made. We're all human beings. We've all made mistakes, but mistakes do not define who you are as a person. I personally have had a chance to get to know you, behind closed doors in ACW when we had a transition, and there was some turmoil and stuff like that. And you were one of the guys that reached out to me and was supportive, had my back, was extremely positive. You're one of those guys that when I was stressed out and didn't know what the future was going to hold for keeping that show together, guys like you are why I'm inspired and motivated to work to keep that show running. So those mistakes don't define you. You were sincere. You were humble when you asked for forgiveness. Now, if somebody chooses not to forgive you, that's their problem. You're a good person. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. And what you did at the beginning of this broadcast I already had a lot of respect for you, but you've earned my respect tenfold by how you've handled yourself during this adverse situation, man. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you, my friend. Jeez, I'm kind of speechless there. You got a, seems like you got a comment there. So while I take all that in for a second, I'll let you say hi to my sister.
Hey, how you doing? I see it's the most villainous Blaze Havoc. Welcome to the show, and I'm here to answer questions from Darkin and anybody else. So I'm an open book, and feel free to fire away. But welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to meet you.
That's Lexi.
Oh, oh, it's the anointed one, Kara Cross. That's Lexi Havoc. Okay. And when I say you were one of the people behind closed doors that have stepped up and helped me,
She
Lexi is
sure has.
she has really stepped up. She's doing things, to help out behind the scenes as well. And people ask
She,
me on a daily basis. We started ACW at the end of October. We've been in existence for 6 months. We already have a roster of more than 100. Like I said, we have 3 weekly episodic television shows: Tuesday Night Terror, Wednesday Night Mayhem, Saturday Night Asylum After Dark. We will be debuting a 4th show in June. People ask me all the time, how do you do it, Tony? And my answer is I surround myself with phenomenal human beings, as talented as the people you see on screen and as great as they are in character, they are a million times better out of character. It takes a team to build what we have
she's
built. And
she's
Lex,
definitely
go ahead.
she's definitely one of a kind. She's an amazing person, an amazing human being.
She's a great writer too.
Yes,
So
she
I've
is.
I've seen some of her music, and then I said, hey, use that writing to help ACW out, because I'm a believer in taking the talents of people. When I took over Wednesday Night Mayhem, you remember I created a little committee, and I had you in that room, Darkin, because I know you're a creative. You're a brilliant individual, and you build on rock. You can't do it yourself. You have to have people around you. Anybody who says they made it
Right.
to the top on their own is lying to you.
Me,
They
Lexi and I actually belong to the same writing group online, writing.com.
Awesome, awesome. Yep. So anyway, I appreciate both of you, and you caught me off guard with that most villainous Blaze Havoc. So Lexi, good one on your part. I'm gonna get you back though. You can trust and believe I'm going to get you back. And like I said, the reason why when people ask me about ACW, why I say I put up our roster against any other roster in the world, and that doesn't just include the EFED universe. I'm talking WWE, AEW, all the wrestling promotions out there in the world. The reason why I say that is not just because of the talent on a promo perspective and on a creative perspective, but because of the top notch, high caliber character of the individuals behind the scenes. And I see we're joined by Brooke Phillips or Lenore Lynn, another member of the Hell family. And I'll tell you this, man, as impressed as I am
Hey, yeah.
with the Hell family in character, I'm a million times more impressed with them out of character. All 4 of you are incredible human beings, in my opinion.
Well, thank you, Tony. That really truly means a lot, man. I don't get that recognition a lot. That came to tuition this morning, on the EWN page. But uh, here to talk about positive stuff. You have to excuse the coughing and everything. You know what I'm going through right now with this devil of a virus. But we're gonna do this show to the best of my ability, and I want to talk about last night. High stakes. My hand is killing me.
Well, the results. I do not want to. I do not want to spoil anything. The results will be posted tomorrow night, and everybody's been working hard. So, Las Vegas, Nevada, Wednesday night, high stakes. We will not only crown ACW Mayhem World Champion, but we will crown tag team champions too. Don't want to let anybody know yet if it's the Pitbull and the Irish Pitbull or the Hell Brothers, but I'll let you know this. With those four individuals, you know there's got to be a war. And speaking of wars, there's a female tag team match that's a no disqualification match, and you got the Hell Sisters, Lenore Lynn and the Anointed One, Kara Cross, going up earlier in the night in a tag team match. And again, when you put those two in the ring, you saw the first pay-per-view that the ladies were involved in, Shockwave. You saw what Lenore Lynn and Kara Cross did. They fought each other throughout the entire arena, up on the concourse level, in the concession stand. They were feeding each other food, pouring drinks on each other. They made it back down to the ring. They beat the living hell out of each other, enough to earn each other's respect. And now they're a team. Imagine the carnage that those two could do as a team. The future is bright for the Hell family. The future is bright for the Hell family.
Adam's family eats your heart out.
Yeah, and I don't want to be remiss with not talking about other things. We have a battle royal to open up the night tomorrow night, and it's a Vincent Valentine Memorial Battle Royal. The prize is a $1.2 million prize. We have 19 entrants in the battle royal, so Vegas is taking bets, all kinds of bets on who's going to win that. Also, we have other matches. We have Trey Camp defending his Distortion Championship against a mystery opponent. Nobody but this guy right here and one other person.
Can you give us a hint? Can you give us a hint? A little hint? Don't give it away, but just a scotch of a hint.
Think of this. I like to play mind games, and this is not checkers. This is chess. That's all I'm going to say. So I have a personal problem with this.
You're talking to a fellow human chess player, yourself.
There you go. Well, so that's all I'm going to say is think about chess instead of checkers, and then you'll understand why I said that when tomorrow comes. Then you also have the main event, Matt Storm, in a rematch defending his internet championship against ACW newcomer Gunner, who's impressed ACW here in his short-lived time on the ACW roster. Well, he won his first match against this dancing Boogie Woogie kid, Josh Valiant, who probably is related to the Boogie Woogie man, Jimmy Valiant. Gunner beat him. Then in his second match, he went toe-to-toe with Matt Storm, and there was no decision. So they get to go at it again. So interesting to see how that plays out. And then I know the Brutality champion, the Black Print Jackson Law, because you guys were on shows talking with each other. And he will be defending his title. Oh, yeah. He'll be defending his title against, a guy who retired from wrestling, came back when ACW was brought up. He hasn't really won too many matches. He's a fighter with heart, Brutus Buckeye. He's defending his title against Brutus. But the following week, back on Wednesday Night Mayhem, he will be going toe-to-toe with the Unholy Killing Machine, Dark Graves. He thinks that getting his notes and lessons from Mr. Danger is going to help him. But I can personally say the 20-plus years that I've been doing eFeds, that you never get the experience secondhand or third hand that you get when you get into the ring. No matter what Mr. Danger tells Jackson Law, no matter what video, how many times he watches the video, until he gets into that ring and looks at you eye to eye, man to man, there's no way he can know exactly what's going on. We got another visitor, a 3-time HCW heavyweight champion, Southern Justice heavyweight champion, Hall of Famers, and first ever. Hey, that's an impressive resume. That's an impressive resume, Bubba. I mean,
I gotta tell a little story here.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Bubba Boudreaux is somebody that I consider not just a friend, I consider him family. We're both from Louisiana. whenever I started out in the game, he was somebody that was always there to help me out. You know, he pushed me to become better. We're both members of a indie group called Asylum Pro Wrestling. Bubba was ready. He was the world heavyweight champion. He was ready to go on and do bigger and better things. And of course, he had to drop the world heavyweight title. And he decided to, out of the goodness of his heart, he dropped it to me, giving me my first world heavyweight title. You know, indie world title, but still, you know, he gave me that chance. He had the confidence in me to do that, and I've always had a lot of respect for him for that and for all of his accolades. He is he's one of a kind, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, Bubba Boudreaux.
You know, Bubba, there's always a spot open on the Allegiance Championship Wrestling roster if you're ever available. I know you're a busy man, but
he's exclusive.
I got you, and I respect that. I appreciate that. I'm not trying to recruit anybody away from anything. I've got much respect for that. So don't take that personally, man. It's just I was just saying you're always welcome to come in. Even as a fan, you're always welcome to come in. ACW is all about embracing everybody and trying to create a place that's drama free and just fun, and a place for people to express their creativity, their talents, and you know, all people are welcome. But if you're exclusive, I respect that, and I hope you didn't take that disrespectfully. I was not trying to directly recruit you or pull you from anywhere. I'm just so proud of the ACW brand and what people like Darkin have done to help build the ACW brand. You know, that I get a little hyper. I get like a, kid on Christmas Eve when I talk about ACW. You got to remember, we started this in late October with 8 people. We had an 8-person roster. We were putting together our first pay-per-view. We had 3 singles matches and hopefully a tag team match. And now here 6 months later, we have a roster of more than 100. And
I feel like a kid on Christmas morning, just having Bubba Boudreaux on the show, watching the show. I think it's the first time he's tuned in.
I've heard his name a lot of times. He's a legend. He's a legend. I've heard his name.
Oh, he's
day in and day out.
Multiple time Hall of Famer. He knows how many. He counts how. He keeps a record of how many titles he's won, and it's off the charts. He's probably won over 100 titles. I mean, there's not much he hasn't done.
Well, Darkin, I'd like to say this publicly. I've said this behind closed doors many times. I believe you're a future multiple world heavyweight champion. I also believe that your Hell Brother Titan is too. You both are two of the more talented individuals that I've had the privilege of working with. And I've been doing e-feds for more than 20 years, mostly written feds until about the last year. But, I wholeheartedly believe that if you stick with what you're doing, 2, 3, 4 years from now, you're going to say you're a former 3-time ACW tag team champion, world champion, all Allegiance champion, Distortion champion, whatever. I believe that wholeheartedly.
You know what? Maybe we can talk Mr. Boudreaux into letting his boss let him have a little special guest appearance and have a match that I've always wanted to have: the Hell Brothers versus Southern Justice.
I mean, that's up to them. I can't. I won't try to push that. But if they wanted to do that, Indra, hey Bubba, and we love what Indra's doing, man. She's phenomenal. You would think that Indra's been doing this for 6, 7, 8 years. The way she drops promos is fire, man. And she's got a big match tonight on ACW's Tuesday night pay-per-view. So, instead of just talking about Wednesday night high stakes, tonight there's Steel Vengeance. She's actually in a steel cage against the Enforcer Jimmy Edwards, and it's a ladder match. And at the top of the ladder, there's her weapon of choice and Jimmy Edwards' weapon of choice. And whoever climbs the ladder and retrieves their weapon gets to use their weapon on their opponent tonight. So, that is supposed to be the opening match of the pay-per-view tonight. So, and that starts being dropped in about 30 minutes. It's a little late. We still have to do the pre-show with Casey Jackson, but I'm going to stay here for a little longer. And
if that's it, if that's in this match tonight, then I can go ahead and get ready for some goosebumps, because I've always said there's not a match that she's in that she's a promo that she's done. Excuse me, that doesn't give me goosebumps over goosebumps over goosebumps. She's amazing.
Absolutely. She's another future world champion, man. I'm telling you. When I see she's been here for what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks promoing, maybe 4 weeks with the storyline, the written and stuff. But I could see her being at the top of the mountain in ACW as well down the road,
Bear me. I've been buried before, Bubba Boudreaux, and I always come out of the grave. And the Pitbulls are going to learn after tonight, whenever we do defeat them, which I know in my heart, we're going to be 7-time World Tag Team Champions, 7 different feds. Not a lot of teams can say that they've been, people can say they've been 25, 30-time champions, but 7 world titles, 7 different companies, that's not too shabby, I don't think, in my book.
Darko, we have a question from your sister, Kara. She said, she wants to know what my opinion is. No, she was just waiting. I was waiting for him to stop talking, Kara. I didn't want to be rude. I saw the question, but absolutely, Kara Cross is beast. She's a beast. I believe she is one of those unique talents that can dominate on the women's scene and against men. I believe she can win men's titles and women's titles, and that's rare at EFEDs. You got a lot of women who are exclusive to the women's division. You got a lot of women who say they can't get in the ring and compete with other women, and they only want to compete with men. There's a unique select few that can do both. They can promo against a woman, promo against a man, and just light it up both ways. And I see that in Kara. So I think the future is bright for Kara as well.
She's fearless. I mean, whenever I did scouting for the Hell family, she was the first. She was number 1 on the list.
The Hell family kind of reminds me of the Dark Circus. You got Crisis, you got T-Wolf, you got the Ringmaster, and you got the Mig. Then you guys got 4 that are fearless and vicious and play mind games too. The Ringmaster, Master Manipulator. Darken Graves, Master Manipulator. Then you got T-Wolf, no fear. You got Titan, no fear. You got the Mig. You got, Lenore Lynn. You got that 4-on-4 would be an epic 4-on-4, Darkin.
It'd make a good War Games match.
Absolutely.
Let's see what's going on with the comments right here.
Indra's making jokes.
She's funny as hell too. Great sense of humor.
We went live on StreamYard when she first started in ACW. We talked for probably an hour and 15 minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Indra. It seemed like we were only on for 5 minutes. When you have one of those great conversations and you just look up and you're like, man, how did an hour pass? But, time flies when you're having fun.
That's like the podcast. It does it every time. When me and Titan did the Hell Brothers Reunion podcast the other night, it went 3 hours long. It seemed like it was 3 minutes.
So, I have a pay-per-view to drop tonight. I've got a pre-show to get ready for. So fire away. I know you have some questions for me. I know you've been wanting to get me on here for a while. Put me on the hot seat and fire away.
So, let's talk about this Misery takeover. I want to know what are you going to do about this? What's Bobby Wagner going to do about this?
Okay, I was going to say, are you asking Tony or are you asking Bobby?
I'm asking Bobby. What's Bobby going to do to get this place under control before it turns into a madhouse?
Well, Bobby's already done some things like if they show up and interfere in matches. They get suspended. Purge is suspended right now because of what he did last week backstage when he put his hands on Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is, stepping up for the roster. He's taking one for the team. I mean, he's been knocked out twice. He's been attacked in his home. He's been attacked in the parking lot. He's had his Lamborghini destroyed. I mean, he is the one stepping up against Misery right now. He needs the rest of the roster to get behind him.
That's what I was going to say. You need a little bit of help, and whenever help comes a calling, you know where to look. You know where I'm going with this.
Well, here's Tony's answer. Tony's answer is this. You got number one, Jackson Law was, and Trey Camp, they were running their mouth about the Hell family, calling Titan a future custodian janitor. Bobby Wagner wants to use that to fire up the Hell family and get the Hell family to get involved. Then
I got a little news for you. The Hell family's already fired up, ready to get involved.
That's what I like to hear. And then you got Edge. You got Misery's all over the place. They attacked Edge. So they attacked him in the parking lot. So we're doing a superstar shakeup after these pay-per-views this week. The shakeup is next week. And you're going to see some other members on Wednesday Night Mayhem come in. So, because, Hell Family, I know you're quite capable, but 4-on-10, I'd rather it be a 4-on-4, make it fair. I mean, I know with you guys, it might have to be a 4-on-6 to make it fair because you guys are not the average everyday human being. But you also have Mr. Danger's been taking his shots at Crisis. Crisis has been focused on the ACW World Championship, but then he got distracted by Misery. He lost the ACW World Championship due to a Sergeant Mayhem attack last week. The rest of the Dark Circus was preoccupied by the main event militia. So you got Crisis, who, if you know anything about Crisis, he's been here since day one. He's the first ever Asylum champion. He is a former ACW World Champion. You don't want to piss that guy off. So, Bobby Wagner's got some plans in place, but Bobby Wagner's getting in the ring tomorrow night with JJ Streeter in a boxing match, and Bobby Wagner's training his ass off. He's ready to get into that ring and put on a boxing clinic of bob and weave, hook and move, not trying to get into a slugfest, but getting into a strategic battle against JJ Streeter. If Bobby Wagner does that, he feels like the rest of the roster will see that, respect that, and they will get behind Bobby Wagner and go to war with him against Misery. Now, one-on-one, I know you have a match against Jackson Law. I know you're a chess player, so you're familiar with the terminology divide and conquer.
Oh, well, yes.
So if you get
I'm going to divide his head down the middle when I conquer him.
Well, you know what I mean is you always see Misery together. I know what you mean. You always see them together. So if we could get Misery, one person here, one person there, get them in situations where they don't have a 10-on-4 or 10-on-5 advantage on the edge. But
like when they lost me the world title against Angel Zero.
I mean, stuff like that. You saw what they did to the Edge in the parking lot, Let's see if one member of Misery against Indra by themselves, with Bobby Wagner making rules to keep the rest of Misery from coming to the ring. Let's see what happens then, But
how do I look like? I'm sorry, Tony. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine. You're fine. It's your show, brother.
How do I look like Weekend from Bernie Weekend at Bernie's? I said Bernie Sanders.
You know what? It's a classic movie, man. So Bubba knows his stuff. Bubba's a legend in wrestling and sports.
Yeah, but how do I look like?
Oh, well, I'll tell you how. This is how. It's not your hair because Bernie had more hair. He had that little comb over and everything, but they put him in a chair. They put the sunglasses on him and they leaned him back. You're leaned back like this with, so then the guys were like lifting their arm up and stuff like that and waving and stuff. The sunglasses and the laid back look. I got to give Bubba credit where credit is due. This is why he's a legend in promos. He sees something and he makes it entertaining. Now you don't look like him because you got the sunglasses off.
So I just took his legendary status away. Basically,
I mean,
you're saying.
easier said than done, right? But hey, you know what? You know, in my opinion, it's all fun and games, man. If they're talking about you, you're doing
Well,
something right, baby. You're doing something right.
it could be. I don't know about if I haven't talked to Bubba in a while, but he says I look half dead. I don't know if he knew about the announcement about I am positive for COVID-19. Bubba, if you didn't know, I know we hadn't talked in a while, but that may be why. I'm on a lot of medication, so. But I don't want to bring everybody down with all that. I digress from that.
I think it was the sunglasses and the fact that you were laid back. You're doing a great job, man. You don't seem out of it like you said you were going to be.
Yeah, it's all good, brother. I was really more worried. I've been worried about you too, because it's Louisiana. It's been a hot spot for it. But yeah, that's one of those things that can cause a dead air moment. So I want to move forward. We you know, Bubba, I'm not gonna. Even though I love you, I'm not gonna post those comments that has to do with that other place. We're not here to promote the Land of Two Letters. So high stakes. What's the next big event coming up for ACW after high stakes?
Listen, you know how I feel, man. Every show is a big event for us. Tuesday Night Terror, Saturday Night Asylum After Dark, Wednesday Night Mayhem. But the next big event is going to be the Superstar Shakeup. You know, we're going to find out who is going where. There's going to be a shakeup. I mean, the landscape of Tuesday Night Terror is going to change some. The landscape of Wednesday Night Mayhem will change some. So you're going to find that out next week. When the shows go on during the matches, you're going to find out who the new roster additions are to each show.
Is that's going to be the pay-per-view or
no? That's just so the June pay-per-view. We're discussing something huge right now with the committee, and I can't. Because it hasn't been officially finalized yet, I cannot blow the cover. I can only say this. Expect something huge in June where we're calling tomorrow night's pay-per-view high stakes, but the stakes will not get any higher than what happens on the pay-per-view in June because the company and ownership of Wednesday Night Mayhem could be at stake when the June pay-per-view comes.
Holy shit.
If things don't go the way that Bobby Wagner wants them to go,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, that means that means that the troops need to rally and step up for Bobby.
Well, like I said, the Hell Brothers are ready. We've been ready. The Hell Brothers and the Hell family, we stay ready.
I know. You know what's so intriguing about this is everybody that's involved and who Bobby Wagner is depending on to save the company are three heel factions, no faces. He's not depending on some hero that's the face of the company, but he's depending on the Hell family, Edge, and the Dark Circus of all people. So I don't know how smart Bobby is because these, as talented as those individuals are, they can turn around and turn on Bobby in a heartbeat.
Well, with the Hell family, yeah, we're super heels, but we're the heels that the fans love. We're like you remember the reaction CM Punk used to get when he was a heel. We're the anti-heroes
Hey, hold on
When
now,
it comes,
Darkin.
when it comes down to,
Sorry to interrupt you, but I've never been, and I'm sorry, I've never been a fan of CM Punk. I know everybody loves the straight edge superstar and all that, but do
I
not
just been,
compare. Do
I
not
was using,
compare Darkin Graves to him, man. Darkin
no,
Graves is 10
I
times
was,
better than CM Punk, man. Come on, man.
I appreciate that, but no, I just meant the reaction that he gets, like when he was supposed to be a heel, like an opposite of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns supposed to be a baby
I
face, but
got
he
you.
gets booed. You know,
I got you. That man's just so boring on the mic to me, man. I could never. He had one good shoot, the one shoot where he sat down and he blew up WWE. Other than that, I never liked anything I heard from that guy.
same here.
And I get
Uh,
criticized. I get criticized for that. Everybody tells me I'm crazy when all the WWE fanboys were saying they want to see a Punk to come back. I was like, no, don't bore us, please don't. They
oh,
don't
you're
give a
talking about CM Punk? I thought
yeah.
you were talking about Roman Reigns.
No. CM Punk.
CM Punk's one of the best guys on the mic there ever was.
See, and I get blasted for that because my opinion is I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it, I've heard it a million times.
Blasted again.
Hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion, you know.
Exactly.
So
That's what's great about wrestling. That is what's great about pro wrestling. You know, you get to choose who you want to root for or root against, and you know, it doesn't really matter as long as you're having fun with it.
hold on. Hey, Lenore says she has her reason why she's a Roman fan, and I'm a Roman fan too. So I'm
Because you have
interested.
insomnia.
No, I'm interested to know what Lenore's reason is.
I was talking about Lenore. I said because she has insomnia, and his promos put her to sleep.
Come on now. And you're talking about how great on the mic CM Punk was? Oh, come on. Lenore, I'd like to hear your reason. Is it okay for me to ask questions on your show, Darkin?
Of course.
Okay. And Lexi, I do agree. The pipe bomb shoot was a great shoot. Like I said, it was one good shoot. The rest of his time.
You ought to hear stuff from Ring of Honor. Stuff from Ring of Honor was really good too.
I know, but you know what? Compared to guys and the ladies in ACW, I'm telling you, I can name a dozen people in ACW and not in any certain order that kill it compared to anybody on the mic in Ring of Honor, WWE, AEW, with the exception of maybe one guy at each company.
I agree. A lot of our talent is better than because you know WWE scripted.
That's awesome, Brooke. That's awesome, man. Go ahead. Sorry, Darkin.
Scripted promos in WWE, and they're lame. You know, they're just kind of lame. You know, in WWE, the promos, you know what the wrestlers are going to say before they even say it. If you're a fan and you've watched for a long time, you can pretty much figure out what they're going to say. In ACW, you never know what's going to come out of some people's mouths, especially this one right here.
Unpredictability. Brooke or Lenore Lynn, whichever she prefers to be called tonight, if she's in character, out in character, I don't know, but she has a lot of great reasons. I mean, she just listed like three or four reasons why she's a fan of Roman.
From Pensacola, that's what we share. Me and Brooke share a connection there. A lot of my family is from Pensacola. I actually lived in Pensacola for a year.
Can I ask you an ACW related question?
I wish you would.
Okay, so let's talk just about Tuesday Night Terror System pay-per-views tonight, you know, because you're on Wednesday Night Mayhem. Who I know because you do podcasts, you follow the entire roster. You follow Tuesday Night Terror, Wednesday Night Mayhem, Saturday Night Asylum After Dark. You know that the A-lister Devo Ryerson is the ACW World Champion. You know that Rage is the Asylum Champion. You know that HHL's been an ACW World Champion. Vincent Valentine's been a World Champion. You know, Crisis has been. But anyway, if you had to pick 2 or 3 people on Tuesday Night Terror's roster that you would like to go up against in promo battles, who would it be and why?
Easy question, easy answer for me. And it's not just going to be an answer; it's going to be a little bit of a story. So give me a minute here, because I've been doing this for about 3.5 years. I broke into the business the same week with this man in the same company. We're like brothers. We know more about each other than probably I know about any other e-fetter. Personal, personal, personal brothers, friends, and we've never had one match together. We've come close. Every time it gets booked somewhere, something always screws it up, and that is Tony Baloney, uh, Dante DeAngelis, whatever you want to call him, Anthony Epperson.
Interesting. And he could be
And,
joining Wednesday night after the
and I
Superstar
guarantee
Shakeup.
you, I guarantee you, he would say the same thing about me.
Awesome. You know what? I might be able to make that happen for you, brother. Anybody else? And if or do you have any other questions before I go? I'm 20 minutes late to the pre-show for the ACW pay-per-view for Tuesday night Steel Vengeance.
Let's see. When are we going to see you're talking about the troops rallying the troops for this misery takeover, because this misery takeover is indeed a very serious thing and a very serious, dire situation. I guess it's not so much of a question as a suggestion. Put the Hell family and put Edge, put us all together, and put us in a War Games match against Misery.
So you claim that some people play checkers and that you play chess. So I'll use a chess analogy that I'm already a few steps ahead of you. We've been in discussions of making that happen. I told you something big was coming in June. I just can't blow the cover yet because we have not officially finalized the deal. But something big is coming in June. And I think, knowing your crazy ass mind,
Something big is coming under the covers.
I think that you'll like what's coming. Remember the movie Poltergeist where she's like, "They're back."
Right.
And the first one, it was like they're here or something. So, something is definitely coming, but there's something even bigger than that that's coming too. And I'm telling you right now, I am a big believer in shock value.
I am too.
I am
as long as it's not Joseph Garcia type shock value.
No. I like this stuff like everybody in the world thought that HHL killed T-Wolf. And then when HHL was fighting Crisis in that casket match and HHL pulled that casket open, everybody in ACW had already condemned HHL. His main event Militia Brothers turned on him. His fans turned on him and was throwing food and pop and trash at him at the arena. His wife left him. Everybody thought he was guilty of murder. There was a tribute episode where everybody was doing a tribute to T-Wolf, a former 10-time world heavyweight champion in E-Feds throughout the course of the last 2 decades, a 20-some-time world tag team champion. They all wrote T-Wolf off, and then HHL thought he had the match in the bag. He opened the casket to put Crisis in the casket, and T-Wolf was inside of that casket, raised up, grabbed HHL, choke slammed him, and caused HHL to lose his title. Now, that wasn't the biggest shock, Darkin. The biggest shock was that and this was before you joined ACW, the ringmaster,
Right.
the ringmaster back in November, December time frame, had a one-on-one match against T-Wolf. And the ringmaster did a disappearing act where he was fighting T-Wolf. He brought a cage out. The ringmaster is always doing all his little tricks and everything, and he put something over the cage. When the cage, boom, T-Wolf was gone. Okay, so people forgot that the ringmaster was the one who caused T-Wolf to disappear back in November, December, right? So then when HHL was arrested and he was pulled over, and the cops saw he was pulled over for a routine traffic stop, he had a busted headlight. The cop looked at the headlight, saw hair on the grill of the car. They ruled it a crime scene. They took the car, they confiscated the car. HHL was arrested, and the whole time, the ringmaster was no coincidence that right after he made T-Wolf disappear, that all of a sudden the ringmaster had a tag team partner called Sideshow Bailey. And Sideshow Bailey was a clown that was running around with the ringmaster. Now, if you were here, the chess master that you are and how you pay attention, you may have put two and two together, because the ringmaster and Sideshow Bailey became the ACW tag team champions. They were the longest tenured tag team champions in ACW history, and every match
until me and Titan win
Okay,
those belts.
okay. That's yet to be seen. I like the confidence, but anyway, here's what I'm talking about shock value, Darkin. Those two dominated, and if you watch the move set of every match, Sideshow Bailey was doing spears, choke slams, all kinds of power moves. On the reveal episode of Tuesday Night Terror after the casket match, Sideshow Bailey had the clown mask on, and he started talking to everybody as Sideshow Bailey, and then he took the mask off, and it was T-Wolf. T-Wolf was there competing on Tuesday Night Terror every week, and nobody knew. The night that he did that reveal video, I'm telling you, man, that was
I like that.
The most reactions of any promo I've ever seen. And then my messenger box was going crazy that night. I mean, it was bang, 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 bang. I had like 120 messages that night because nobody, and obviously, now I'm speaking out of character.
Right.
Well, I ordered a custom clown mask that you would like, because it was an evil clown with the word murder on the back of it. And I ordered that custom made from Mexico City. And then I got a voice changer, and I did all my promos, and I gave them off to PT Barnum, the handler of Ringmaster, and he posted all of my promos. And nobody knew that it was me the whole time. That's what I'm talking about. When I say shock value, be ready for some shocks in June. Be ready. That's all I could say. Big things are going to happen.
I know you got to get out of here, Tony, but can I ask you one more question?
Absolutely. Nothing but love, brother.
And this is a hypothetical kind of situation. I'm gonna name off 5 guys that are not members of the ACW roster. And if you had the chance to sign one of these 5 guys, who would it be? I'm gonna give you 5 names. Okay?
Yep.
Too Fine Justin Klein. Chicago Savage Jeremiah Napper. Bubba Boudreaux. Adam Cage. Or Thomas Austin.
Wow. So first of all, I'll be honest with you. When we started ACW, we were in our own little bubble, and we didn't, know about any of these names that you just threw out there because we didn't follow it. We came from there was a group of Duke basketball fans and a group of North Carolina basketball fans. We were on a rivalry page. Then the wrestling page was created from that, and because it was a bunch of guys that just had fun getting on the rivalry page, they cut promos back and forth. So as far as we were concerned, no other video. I mean, we knew that they were out there. I mean, we're not dumb, but in our minds, in our imaginations,
these are all IW guys too.
I know, they didn't exist.
So if you could steal one away,
so again, it's a hard question for me to answer because we still try to play in our sandbox like there are no other E-Feds out there. They're different planets than us. So we don't try to compete with anybody. I've never went and done what some of these other E-Fed owners, I don't want to say any names, CWF, I don't want to say the guy's name or whatever, but he came into our Fed trying to poach every one of our roster members. We've never done that. We've always said we'll just build our product and people will come, like the Field of Dreams movie. If you build it, they will come. I will say this.
Well, let's say one of the guys I mentioned, let's say his contract was up.
Well, this is what I would say. Bubba Boudreaux, number one, is show loyalty, and loyalty is everything to me. He was quick. And you know his loyalty because you spoke on his behalf and said, no, he's exclusive. Bubba, that type of loyalty today, I love. You can't find that. It's rare. Number two, when you mentioned, because I don't care about how good you are promo-wise. I really don't. We've got enough talented individuals at ACW. I want good people. I don't know the other four guys out of character. But when you mentioned your sickness and what you were battling with, Bubba was quick. He was in character, giving you a hard time, called you weekend at Bernie's and all that. And then when you mentioned your sickness, he was quick to jump out of character and show love and support to you. So based on that, because I could care less if it's the greatest promo artist or the worst promo artist in the world. I haven't seen all of those guys, their work. I've heard their names and their reputations. So just based on what I know, I would go with Bubba. And the fact that you said you wanted a one-on-one match with him is telling to me, because you don't go out there and say you want one-on-one matches with just anybody. You want guys like Anthony Epperson, like Mr. Danger, like Bubba Boudreaux.
I want a tag team match with Bubba. I've had me and Bubba have had excuse me, multiple one-on-one matches. He pushed me to my limit. We had a match of 3 series in Asylum Pro Wrestling, and each match we had, he pushed me a little bit farther, and made me a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better. And I owe a lot of my success to this day. Excuse me, I'm sorry, to Bubba Boudreaux.
So yeah, I mean, if out of those 5, it's the only one I really have enough to go on. But I will say this: as much as I respect his resume, his reputation, his name out there, I wouldn't trade anybody in the ACW family for any one of those 5 guys, because once you're ACW family, I take that to heart, brother. You know that about me, and the people watching here know I'll go to bat for you. I'll have your back. I'll defend you. Once you're family with me, you're not interchangeable. You're not somebody that's tradable. I don't believe that people are expendable, to get a benefit. If I get a call from someone say, hey, man, this is the best promo artist in the world. He can come in and do this and that for ACW. And, they offer to trade it for somebody who loses 3 out of 4 weeks in ACW. I still say, no, I'm not trading anybody from ACW for anybody in the world. I don't care if Vince McMahon called me and wanted to trade me Triple H for Darkin Graves. In all reality, y'all can laugh and say I'm full of shit, but I'm being sincere. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm not making that trade. And I think you know that about me, Darky. I'm not going to trade Lenore Lynn for anybody. I'm not going to trade Kara Cross for. I'm not going to trade HHL or Crisis for anybody. Crisis is my brother, man. I'll go to war with Crisis, man. If he gets arrested for something, you trust and believe I would bail him out. I hope he doesn't. He's a good dude. He probably won't, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, we're family, man.
Triple H got shit on me anyway.
I mean, maybe 15 years ago, right? But listen, I mean, this shirt right here, This shirt right here is ACW. Joey Hilburn is part of the grown-ups benefits, and they work with families that have kids that are sick. You know, Lucas Prevost was a kid who had heart surgeries when he was a baby. Caitlin Little was a girl who was a high school cross-country runner who was completely healthy. Then she had a brain injury, and her memory resets every minute. The grown-up benefits raises money by doing benefits so that they can help those families out. ACW, we bought 20-some shirts. A little goes a long way. We were wearing the shirts, made videos with the shirt, sent the videos to the families. You know, that's what ACW is about more than just great promo artists. You know what I'm saying? It's about having each other's back, taking care of one another, looking out for each other, loving each other, man.
As you say that, I kind of feel bad here with my Jim Jones shirt on, who
Listen, man.
900,000 people to commit suicide.
Hey, listen, man, you're you know, a unique individual, and I don't expect you to change for me at all, man. I would be disappointed if you did change for me, because you know, each unique individual brings something different to the table.
I don't change for anybody.
Absolutely, brother. And I'm not talking about just an ACW. No, I'm not even talking just ACW. I'm talking about the world, man. I mean, I love watching Lenore Lynn's podcast. You know why? Because I've never seen anything like it anywhere. I mean, she's one of a kind. I love reading.
I thought you were going to say, you know why? Because unholy am I.
No. I'm a little holier. I'm not unholy, but I'm not holy. You know, I guess I'm unrighteous. All of us are unrighteous. But anyway, I could never even claim to compare to you, man. And I don't want to. I'm me. I'm going to be me. But what I was saying is, you know, Kara Cross, you reader, you, and I'm sure you have. You read her music. You know, is everybody going to love it? Everybody has a different flavor. But what I like, you know, is when people feel comfortable. I love it, but what I like is when people feel comfortable being themselves. You know, let me say something real quick before I go too. I'm going to give you a great example of why I love eFeds. The enforcer, Jimmy Edwards, played by James Whitty. Okay, so a few months ago he came to ACW from a smaller eFed, you know, and he wouldn't show his face on camera at first. He always showed up in his promos, and he was always like this. And, you know, we pushed him. And I spent some time one-on-one with him, pushing him to get out of his comfort zone. Man, hey, try this, try that. And he did it. And, man, I was so impressed with the courage that it took for a man who wasn't, you know.
I can relate. My first 6 months, and Bubba remembers this, I wore a Sting mask. Yep. I didn't want to show my face.
That's what people do. And then, you know, when they're uncomfortable. But then next thing you know, he shows up. He's in church. He's got a suit and tie on, and he's preaching. And, dude, I got like you said, goosebumps on top of goosebumps on top of goosebumps watching this man. He went on to win ACW Riot, the first ever ACW reality television series and competition. He won the ACW Tag Team Championships, you know. I mean, the guy's doing great. Now, unfortunately, tonight he's got a big roadblock. He's going up against Indra, you know, so no easy task for
him. He better pack about 666 lunches.
But what I was saying is, man, the guy has come so far. Jackson Law's another one, you know, that's come so far in a short amount of time. But, hey, I got to go.
The contest, though, real quick. The contest that you do, what's it called? Where you call out
off the cuff?
Yes. I'd like to participate in that one time.
All you got to do is throw out the challenge, brother, and then I'll moderate it, man. Unless you want to throw out the challenge to, you know, to T-Wolf or something. But if you throw it out to somebody else and they accept, we'll make it happen on the ACW network, man. And, you know, this is the format. You got the ACW network where all the reality shows and announcements and stuff are made. And then you've got the Wednesday Night Mayhem show where the promos and the results are dropped. You got the Tuesday Night Terror show page where the same thing, everything is dropped. But the ACW network is the hub for Asylum After Dark, Wednesday Night Mayhem, the reality shows, off the cuff, right? So if you want to throw out a challenge, Darkin. I'll try to make it happen for you, man.
Sure.
Who
I'll
you
get back.
throwing out that challenge to?
I'll get back to you on that one.
I mean, there's a few guys that are up for the challenge. The A-lister Devo Rice and the most entertaining superstar yesterday, today, forever, Austin Kruger.
It can be anybody on either show.
Anybody on all the shows, anybody as long, but they have to accept. They have to accept.
I'll definitely get back. I'll get back to you on that then.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, man. I love what you're doing for eFeds, but I also love what you're doing for people, man. I see you mentoring people behind the scenes, behind closed doors in the locker room. I see you taking people under your wing and talking to them, giving them advice and all that, you know. So I appreciate that, man. I see what you're doing, and people don't, see everything. They only see mistakes. They only see when one person brings drama and there's an argument, and then people want to feed off of that. I call it the Jerry Springer syndrome. That's why a show like Springer's been on for 20 years, because people love that kind of garbage, man. But when somebody does something good, you don't see people talking about it. You don't hear about it. And I can say this, I can attest to this, that this man that's brought me on his show today has done more good things than I could count off the top of my head that I could remember in his time in ACW. He's not a bad dude. Does he do bad things? All of us do. Heck, I've done horrible things in my life, man. But I appreciate you. And I want to come back when I have more time, man. I would stay, but I got a pay-per-view to drop, man. I got a pay-per-view to drop. I would love to come back with all of the Hell family. I'd love to get on here with Lenore, Kara, Titan, and Darkin, man. I would love it, man. One day we can have a round table discussion with the Hell family, man. But I do got to go, brother.
Thank you, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Parker, one of a kind.
Thank you.
And folks, like I said, I had to apologize for my voice, and if it looks like I'm a little bit sleepy, I want to say I'm on 5 or 6 different medications that just about knock you out. This COVID-19 ain't no joke. I would wish this on my worst enemy. Yeah, it's something else. But anyway, I will always be Darkin Graves, and I will fight this, and I will win this. Just like I destroy my opponents, I'm going to destroy COVID-19, and COVID-19 will never be seen again. You know why? Stay with me, because unholy am I. I'm Darkin Graves for Tony Parker. I thank you all for tuning in. And it's been pretty fun. Thanks, guys.